everyone, my name is Travis Bean, and on this channel we talk Kanye West. Because there is another guy here. I'm not Chris, the guy you see 99.999% of the time. I'm the other host of Watching the Throne. I don't know if any of you have ever listened to our podcast. Sometimes it seems like people don't even know we have a podcast. And I think it's because Chris is just like, he's on Twitter, like tweeting a million tweets. He's like making all these videos. It kind of just seems like, I don't know what it seems like. This one single man entity runs the show. But like if you go through the podcast, there are hundreds of hours of podcast where Chris and I talk about we've talked about every single Kanye West song, going line by line through every single one, explaining the narratives, all that jazz. And I've just never really dipped into the YouTube videos because I have an astounding lack of self-confidence and don't really like putting my face on the camera. But I kind of have to today because Chris, his computer is all messed up and I got to take the brunt of things every once in a while, you know? It's like a marriage. 50% of we own 50, it's a 50-50 split in everything. We have to share everything, and that means I own 50% of the responsibility in this podcast, which means I need to, by the end of our relationship, make just as many videos as Chris has made on YouTube, which is a daunting task, but I'm ready to do it. And I'm going to start today. I'm going to give an update on the best Kanye West Sound Tournament Deathmatch Extreme 2020. It's always a mouthful, but I think I'm finally getting the hang of it. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is a bracket we put up every year. And in this bracket, we match up every single Kanye West song against each other. So the first year, I think there were like 100, because I would have been like 2017. And there were like 130 something songs probably then. And since he's released a lot more music, Yay, Kids See Ghost, a bunch of singles, Jesus is King, and it's blown up to like about 160. And each year, whatever song wins the tournament goes onto the champions ladder. What do we call it? Hall of Champions? Hall of Champions. And first year it was Runaway. Second year it was Bullet and Leaves. Third year it was Devil in a New Dress. Probably the three most predictable songs to win, maybe outside of like Power. But this year, with those three songs gone, it's kind of like anybody's game. And there are a lot of different predictions going on. I made a prediction bracket myself, which we can get to in a second. I like to do that every year because I think of myself as very in tune with the Kanye community and have a pretty good idea of like what songs are going to move on, what songs are really hitting the Kanye zeitgeist at the moment. And I like to rub it in all the Kanye fans' faces when I do better than them. So I look forward to doing that this year as well. So we're going to have a small update on the day's tournament. The first round, the first two rounds are the qualifying rounds, and that's when we put all of the songs that did the worst in last year's bracket in this like opening qualifier round. I think there are like 28 songs that go in that part of the bracket. And so, God, it's more than 28. It's like 56, like the lowest 56 songs. So there actually is a little bit of competition there, and you'll see some like pretty good songs leak into that qualifying round. So the first 2 days are that, and Chris already went over the first day, but when we had 14 matchups. But I do want to point something out really quick. If you look here, you'll see that lift yourself, lose yourself. That would be great if we just put an Eminem song in there. Lift Yourself and Breathe In, Breathe Out. The Lift Yourself technically won, which I gotta say kind of surprises me. I just assumed like nobody's gonna vote for. I love that song, but I assumed nobody would vote for it. But I guess enough people hate Breathe In, Breathe Out that this kind of makes sense. Anyway, you'll see that Lift Yourself technically won, but in our system, it's kind of like the Georgia primary runoffs, or the runoff election you're going to see in Georgia. Unless you win a certain percentage of the vote, we have this sort of runoff thing that happens. And you'll see here that you have to get at least 51% of the vote if a song wants to move on. And Lift Yourself only got 50.6, which has implications for the next round, which we will get to later. But for now, we're going to cover the second half of round one and everything that happened yesterday. As you can see here, I feel like that was knocked out, which, man, that happened last year too. I wonder if it's just a song people haven't heard. I mean, it's not readily available, but I don't know. That song always really hits me hard. I think anybody who's suffered through depression or knows somebody who suffered through depression, that song really hits home. It's a very naked and compelling song in a way a lot of Kanye songs aren't. It's like very to the point, and when a lot of Kanye songs are like deal with irony and are very flamboyant and over the top, I feel like that is very humbled, stripped down, and it's. I just wonder if it's not a song a lot of people have heard, but at the same time, 4 or 5 seconds is an incredibly popular song, so maybe it's not that surprising that 4 or 5 seconds won, but I hope more people discover. I feel like that, and that's one thing I actually think this tournament does a great job. Something this tournament does really well is it makes people like realize how many Kanye songs there are and realize there are songs they don't even know. So I hope people before they go vote in these polls actually listen to each of the songs before they vote. And if we can do that, then that's awesome. And even if they don't love, I feel like that now, like they now know about it, and maybe like they'll listen to it again down the road, and it'll hit at a different point in their life. So basically, we're out there doing good in the world, is all I'm trying to say. Yikes beat addiction, which I don't know if that's surprising. I guess Yikes is new and more people know it, but man, addiction. I love addiction. To me, that's like the earliest sign of Kanye in like his Yeezus mode. The production's just incredible. It's a very visceral song. Don't like beat Ye versus the People. That's also not surprising because Ye versus the People is notably a lot of people's least favorite Kanye song. It's also a very atypical Kanye song, and personally, I don't know how well it works. It's kind of a nice capsule moment in time that captures Kanye, which I like, but I don't know how much I like actually listening to the song. Pinocchio Story beat Water. Love to see that. I mean, Water's a great song, but Pinocchio Story is. I love Pinocchio Story. Anybody who listens to the podcast knows it's like up near my top 10 Kanye songs, so glad to see that. Get 'em High beat out See You in My Nightmares. Another controversial opinion I hold is that See You in My Nightmares is a great song. And I kind of get why people don't like it. It's a very ugly sounding song, but that's why I like it. Like it comes at the end of 808s and Heartbreak when you can feel Kanye really dipping in the turmoil and losing everyone in his life, and he's lost his connection to celebrity. Like that song to me kind of perfectly captures all of that. Champion beat The Glory. I love The Glory to death. I think Chris usually talks about The Glory on this channel and on Twitter. I have always, and I'm there with him. I've always loved The Glory. I think it's an incredibly underrated Kanye song. I can't get too mad though because Champion is awesome and a lot of people love Champion, so I'm okay with that. Homecoming beat All Mine. A little surprising actually that I'm not surprised that Homecoming won, but that big of a gap, 83.5% versus 16.5. Wow. I mean, there's still 18 minutes left in this poll. Anything can happen. I'm recording this ahead of when the new polls are going to be put up. So anyway, that is surprising though, because I feel like sometimes people complain about Homecoming because they don't like the fact that Chris Martin is in a Kanye song. But in All Mine, I would say is probably one of the more popular songs on Yay, because it's the only song that like feels radio, that like could be a hit. While a lot of the other songs are like kind of weirded and sometimes experimental. But yeah, there you go. Click beat Christmas in Harlem. No surprise there, although it is December, so it's a little depressing. School Spirit beat That's My Bitch. That's My Bitch is another one. I feel like that song gets just judged on the title alone. But if you listen to That's My Bitch, I mean, that song is fucking fire. And I love School Spirit too, but I feel like people need to give That's My Bitch another chance. New Workout Plan beat Why I Love You. Well, I hadn't seen that until now. That's surprising. Maybe it's not surprising because like people probably love New Workout Plan, but I guess personally to me, that's the worst song on College Dropout. Even though I have a rich history with that song and like loved it back when it came out. Now I think that song never really works to me and like it hasn't aged well. And Why I Love You, it's one of the best songs on Watch the Throne. So, I think you all should think about your choice on that one. Heard Him Say beat Salah, Sela, whatever you want to say. That's not too surprising. I love both those songs though, so I can't get mad. Amazing beat The Morning. Predictable. The Morning's not really a Kanye song. Slow Jams beat I Love Kanye. Also not surprising. People love slow jams, including myself. and the one beat We Can Make It Better, which was the one matchup I knew people would be like, huh, what are these songs? Which is why you can see here in the C result, almost as many people picked the C results option as they picked We Can Make It Better. So that really tells you everything right there. And that's the end of round one. And now we're moving into end of the pre-qualifying round. So now we're heading into day 3, which is the start of day 1, which I think Chris has it listed here. So days 3 to 10, this is all first round, 8 matchups a day. This is when shit gets ugly. This is when a lot of enemies are made, blood is shed, tears are cried. But at the end of the day, we got to eliminate some songs in the first round. And what people always get pissed when we do this, but we randomize every song in the Kanye bracket outside of the pre-qualifying round. If you were one of the worst songs, you go to the pre-qualifying round and you don't have any choices. But outside of that, we randomize everything. And one of the main reasons we do that is like, what's the point of just setting up songs to win? Like, yeah, Power would beat a song like Breathe In, Breathe Out. So like Power's number 1 and Breathe In, Breathe Out's last. Like, we know that would happen. It's more fun to mix it up a little bit and get these big Kanye songs matched up against each other earlier. Stir up a little controversy, make enemies a little sooner, and yeah, anyway. So I said I would come back to this. Lift Yourself, Breathe In, Breathe Out. Now, they tied. Who put this in here? Because Lift Yourself didn't win. I don't know how that happened, actually. Maybe Chris went in here. But technically, this isn't true. So let's edit this right now. You're going to get to see this in real time, a little peek behind the curtain. 0. Okay, so nobody's won that. That is a lie. Don't believe the lie. So here, this is round 1, and now we're going to have all 3 songs match up against each other here. So instead of Lift Yourself versus Bound 2, because neither of them got above 51% of the vote, they both move on to face off against Bound 2. And it's going to be a 3-way matchup. So these are the matchups for today. We have Say You Will versus Everything I Am, which I would think Say You Will is going to win that one. That always seems to be a song Kanye fans love. And I would agree with that, although I love Everything I Am. That's a great song. Fade versus Highlights. I would think Fade would win that one. It's a more popular song. And Highlights, I think, is one people generally designate as the worst song in the life of Pablo. I don't even know if I disagree with that, but I do love Highlights. So basically, I think every song in the life of Pablo is amazing. Then we got Otis versus Wolves. And, ooh, that's a tough matchup. That one took a second to settle in. Sorry. I don't know which one will win that one. People love Otis. It was a huge radio hit. It's a worldwide hit. But Wolves is, if you're a Kanye fan, Wolves hits. Especially if you've seen that video. It's one of Kanye's best videos. Ultralight Beam versus So Appalled. There are a lot of low-key So Appalled fans out there that try to push So Appalled as one of the best songs on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I can't imagine that beating Ultralight Beam. But if you disagree, please head to the polls and vote. Then we have Bound versus Breathe In, Breathe Out versus Lift Yourself, which is the strangest matchup I ever did see. Then we have On Site versus Family Business. Family Business is a Kanye fan favorite. That one usually hits home for people. But On Site, I mean, it's Jesus. It's, man, I don't know how that one's going to go. 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have Use This Gospel versus Crack Music. I would think Crack Music takes that one. And then finally, ooh, the rough one of the day. Black Skinhead versus New Slaves. I know I said we randomized the brackets and that's a good thing, but I kind of almost want to reverse what I said there, because that's criminal to put those two up against each other in the first round. Those are two songs that could win the whole tournament as far as I'm concerned. So the fact that one of them's going to be knocked out this early. Oh, okay, that's 8, right? That's all 8 for today. And that's your update. Please go to our Twitter page at Kanye Podcast and vote. Vote for your favorites. we're doing a little charity this year. We picked 8 Twitter users to pick like 5 or 6 Kanye songs. They basically drafted the songs, and if any of those songs win, that the person who picked that song, we will donate $500 to the charity of their choice. So keep track of that. Um, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's me and not Chris. I know you all love Chris and think of me as his little troll sidekick. Or what is that guy from Frankenstein? Is it Igor? Anyway, I'm Igor. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll probably be doing these for the next few days because Chris's computer is all crapped out. So I guess get used to my face. Oh, I forgot to mention I was wearing this Kanye shirt. Here, I want to show it. It's a photo of Kanye, and he's thinking about Kanye. All these little Kanyes are flying out of his head. It's one of my favorite shirts. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay wavy and loopy and all of that jazz.